Good morning, everyone. Come with me for a journey through time and Kick's recorded games folder, which we've gotten a hold of from 2015. I think there's some as low as 2013, a couple of 2012, mainly that sort of era, which I think is a gap in all the recorded games that I've had and been covering. So I found this one, went through it the other night. Turned out to be a bit of a banger, so gonna go over it, put it on the channel. Without further ado, let's get started. It's gonna be a long one. Rip me, I've only got one coffee here. I don't really do any sort of video editing, to be honest, so there won't be any intermission to get more coffee. So, in this game, we've got Rob, Kick, Hfrye, and SWGBCC Knight. And they're facing off against myself, Unholy, I'm pretty sure this is his little brother, and Ipman, who I can't even remember who that is. And the map being Motherlode, this sort of desert version. You got all these fish in the centre and a big lake just surrounded by carbon rocks, which are essentially your trees where you get your wood from. Looking at the resources, quite a lot of nerfs. Can get them into a nursery. There's some dewbacks that can be lured as well. And I'm gonna have to speed up for the early game because this is a long game. There's this little rancor who's trapped over here. Don't often see that. And there's these nerfs that are trapped down here as well. So sometimes the RNG is a bit cruel. I don't think these were any players' nerfs though. And that is an interesting medic. This may be the most valuable medic I've ever seen in my life. Outstanding. Top use. He just wanted to get these, but he couldn't. Game wouldn't let him. So having a look around, there's not too much deviation from the old plans. You can see a bit of a wall going down here from Rob. I find that sort of happy medium in the speed. See, harassing that with the scout because sending mounties across, we don't want the wall to complete. I do find it interesting that you could wall here probably much quicker and in less houses. This is over double the length actually. So these workers are going down. Don't really want to be fighting the crate dragon. Kind of a waste of time. Get all these units together and keep the pressure on. Other side of things, not really anything happening. Not even a wall. Like, Kick and Unholy here are very close to one another and nothing going down. So continuing the pressure with the mounties here. Sending them over. Heading over to the pocket now. Because we know there's not really too much resistance from our wing. We can do that and go hunting for power cores. So done a really good job just weakening our side of the map here with the pocket and the wing. We're forcing a troop center from the pocket as well. Power core killed. Big delays for them. Rob does get the power core up here in quite a defensive position, but it garrisons his workers and lets the mounties get round it. And I think there's just too many there. There's not enough spots for workers to get round and repair it. So that's 2 power cores that have gone down there. Unholy having his own problem with crate dragons. Creating this strange wall. Sort of walling out his carbon, but not quite. And we send these mounties over to the next player, who's building a wall. Also having problems with the wildlife of the Motherlode map. And doesn't really have much defense for this either. SWGBCC Knight does get up to T3, and because he's playing Confederacy, he's got the option of having Geonosian warriors as a harassment tool, so he was going straight for a fort, which turns out to be the most ideal thing for him here in this moment, in this scenario. because he doesn't need a power core and he gets to build a nice big defensive building where he can garrison workers and basically just scare off the Mounties. We can see troops coming from the pocket to reinforce the wing against the dreaded Mountie threat, which I don't think is really a problem anymore, as we're getting a spaceport, an airbase there, hitting T3, diversifying our tech. The other side of things, not really too much going on, just your typical Motherlode people chilling, make wall and relax, unless air come, then panic. Building a fort. Things are looking a bit rough on this side. Just a lot of troopers, and even troopers to defend air as well, which isn't the best. I see we're just being a good little team rebel. Getting the fort, getting the speeders. Making sure we can do what we need to do. The Geonosian warrior now though, getting so much damage done. This guy's gone T3, but he's built a command center, no anti-air turrets, no air base. Having to come and help him, having to come and rescue my pocket. Interesting stuff. And going on the aggression. Or on the offensive now would be the word. Strike mech, seeing if the wall was complete, it was. And we're going to come around here, and these are not the greatest deterrents, but took a lot of shots going in. I think with the upgrades they did quite well there. So it's a big blunder on our part losing that air. But we can rebuild it, we do have the infrastructure. But that's a huge amount of breathing space here for Rob and Hfrye. On the other side of things, I can hear a Geonosian warrior. Really sad that he didn't go for this part. Just went for the farms because this is completely undefended. Double war center here for Unholy. Not sure that's really necessary considering he's got 0 units. And Ipman sending out some strike mechs here, but you can see there's been a big wall constructed by Kick, so he's not really going to get anything done with that. Maybe he can reach like one of these workers. A bit of a stretch. And looking around, I think people are just chilling out even more. There's some air here for Ipman. You could bring them over. At least they can traverse the wall, do some damage. Grey not really doing too much at all. Just sort of booming. As is Unholy. Still building up a lot of air. Just to keep ourselves safe, and to be honest, keep these guys safe as they're doing too much. There's a strange wall that Man's made of just prefab shelters. So it's 2015 gameplay right here. Almost walling his teammates away from him. It's a really defensive look for Rob here. There's troopers, he's got turrets, he's got some air just positioned. Just doesn't want to do anything aggressive. Just counting himself lucky he's still alive at this point. And a big squadron of air for ourselves, just flying around, not really sure what we want to do with it. And we've got Kickstart here, he's got this nice little boom going and maybe one too many anti-air turrets. Yeah, it's still taking damage. So there's number 6, there's number 7. It's maybe too many turrets. And a heavy weapons factory being laid down here for night. It's going to start pushing from this side. The air from Ipman here looking to do some raiding. And we've got Hfrye going T4. I'm assuming air. He's upgrading some troops. Not too sure what he's up to. Does have some air. Not many air. I think we just seem to be chillaxing, not being too aggressive. I think we're maybe assuming that there's T4 air coming towards us and we just don't want to move out onto the map. Because I can't tell you how many times that's happened to me. That I've sent my air from my base and then someone has just flown in at the most opportune moment and ravaged my worker count. It really is a sad affair. So we've got blue reinforcing on Rob's side here on the green. Building up some troop centres, a mech factory, looking to get some aggression on this side. Definitely seems to be a lot quicker of a move in getting infrastructure up on this team than there is on my team over here. So we've upgraded our air and waited a very long time, to be honest, before moving out into the map, so we're assuming it's safe. Sentry post for Rob, keep an eye on us. We don't too much on the front here, but we are sort of building up a defensive area here, not overextending too much. I see the troopers are starting to get their upgrades. They've got a fort down, building another fort, and we're going to start raiding them now. Particularly now that we see his air over here. And with this we're getting some kills, some scouting information, learning what we're up against. You see Knight rallying units from over here. Once again having problems with Rancors, as is Kick. Wildlife really is the MVP of this game. Many kills. So we're sending the air out here. Killing some units, some workers. Not really much from Unholy here. You see there's some air from Kick as well. So we've got Kick and Hfrye with competing air forces. But I don't think either has as big of a standing army. So we are free to do as much damage here as we want at present. Troopers getting those upgrades, looking to transition out the air. Just use the air as a supporting force now rather than as a complete army tool. Rebels get very good troopers with the extra HP, and the supporting units are great, having speeders, advanced fighters. Sitting on top of their trade, which they're getting going early. Getting lots of kills here. But here comes Kick to try and stop this. Patrol in, and yeah. It's a bad trade on our part. But we're now starting to push with the troops, cannons. We'll do what we can here. But on the other side of things, not really too much happening from these boys. Some units being built here by Ipman, but they're not really on the front. There's no forts, there's no shields, there's just, to be honest, Kick's wall. So they control the border. On the other side of things, we continue to push. Kick's air here to reinforce. Got to defend our troops with our air. Getting a shield generator down. And beginning the push. You can see Knight commenting how he's got anti-air turrets all the way down the trade, keeping it safe, because that will be their lifeline in the late game here. Because the great thing about Motherlode is there's basically infinite carbon, so you can have tons and tons of hovercrafts and endless farms, and just have a really good flourishing Nova food economy. I'd say we're about the late game, so we'll put it down to normal speed now. Because as I said, this is going to be a long one. I don't mind casting the long ones for you, but I mean you do have to sit through it if you want to watch it all as well. So I gotta try and keep the length of the video down a bit. And we've all seen the early game shenanigans anyway, we know what it's all about. So there's a bit of action finally happening on this side. Ipman pushing up with that army that he built in his base, and we've got the air cruiser here for Unholy. Laying down a bit of damage, but still no deterrence in terms of like defensive buildings. A bit of a drop here for Ipman. On the other side of things, the cannons, kicks air here, reinforcing. There's 3 guys here just fighting me on this side. Not sure what these transports are going to be doing. Is this like a testing transport? The air here for kick doing a bit of damage. Look at this, this transport's just going to die, this turret. Don't know if it's maybe pummels or something. Unsure. Kick's air pulling back. He's maybe been having a look at these transports and seeing what's going on. This one might land. No. Why doesn't he just land there? He's like clicking L over here into turrets. So it seems we've weathered the storm of the defensive maneuvers of Hfrye, Rob and Kick here, and we're starting to push up again. You can see there's some Nova that we're looking to steal here. It seems Ipman is running back the way, reassessing his options after his transport shenanigans haven't gone too well for him. He's moving these back. I'm not sure what's been in these transports, to be honest. I'd check, but I'm too lazy. Too lazy to click. Air again for Kick. It's causing us problems because we don't really want to make too much air, we just want it as a supporting tool, but he's bringing over big control groups of it. Some anti-air troopers helping out. Ipman has found himself back in the front here with Unholy's air cruiser, doing a bit of damage. Kick again, doesn't have too many units out because he's been building a lot of air to go and assist the other side, but he is starting to get out this artillery. And once again we are doomed to witness artillery from the Wookiees that is not 10+2. If you don't know, they get an extra upgrade. Everyone gets one in the research centre that gives you +1, but you get an extra +1 if you're Wookiees from the heavy weapons factory, which is completely busted, overpowered, like ranges everything. Particularly when you're both under shields, so they're just crazy. Crazy good. So no shields for either team here. And back on the other side of things, not really too much ground being gained. You see we've had to build loads more air because of Kick. And some Jedi now coming out, going to start converting our cannons. But we seem to have found a remedy to that by just having too many cannons. Can't convert them all. And quite a decent army now for Kick. You can see the repeater troopers coming in for the Wookiees. But they are sort of walking into a bit of a choke point here. If Ipman was firing, he could do a bit of damage. And as with all games back then, it looks like the players are being victims of lag all over the place. You're going to start to see groups of units sort of stutter on the spot after being issued a move command. Particularly air, Jedi, troopers can do it as well. It's pain and suffering every time it happens to you. Just love to see some shields. Here's a shield here from Knight. Quite well positioned here, I think. Well, maybe not too much, because I think you could put a cannon here and shoot it. Yeah, they can actually reach. Oh, bad times. Maybe should have put it up here. Closer to the edge of the world. See some Jedi Starfighters, which are not really doing anything, because they're a terrible unit. Don't be fooled in thinking they won that trade, it was this turret. They almost had me. Cannons pushing up, some bounty hunters being laced in here to deal with the Jedi that have been brought out. You can see there's some assault mechs here, doing some heavy damage to the troops. So that's Knight even getting involved here on this side. Absolutely everything being dedicated to stop my advance on this side of the map. And a valiant effort being made by Ipman. and Unholy here. Again, the forces from Kick and Knight here seem to be a bit overwhelming in terms of the sheer amount of artillery. 10+1 artillery. I'd like to see this air cruiser take a few more shots. Most invaluable tool in defending this side, I think. Some grenadiers being laced in now because of the added threat of the assault mechs. I think we're maybe having a bit of a breather though. Having a think of what we want to do. See, we're building a lot of traders. So we're sort of changing up our economy and looking to tech switch. It's normally what these lapses in production are. Because though we are sort of winning on this side, we're not like hard pushing. But there is a lot of deterrence from doing that. Air cruiser's been coming forward, taking some shots, it would seem. The fighters are getting on top of it though, while it just stands there waiting to fire another. Will it get another one off before it dies? Nope. Move command issued just at the last second there. See a Holocron here that could be grabbed up by this team. Get a bit of free Nova income. And it looks like Kick and Knight are really surging forward on this side. On my side here, we're pushing up, bringing some more workers, looking to build some stuff. Don't know why we need that other Nova processor. Maybe just a lazy way of telling them to go and mine this. You see we've got we've got 30 HP lead on these troopers because he's not gotten the upgrade. Which is honestly huge in the trooper v trooper matchup. That's why these boys are so strong compared to the other civs. And you can see there's the lag we talked about. Look at them. They were imprisoned. Doomed to be hit. 2 wee seconds, someone at my door. Apologies for that, that's just typical, but like I swear I can't be arsed editing videos, so just, I hope you skipped like a minute. Anyway, things are happening. Air cruiser been brought forward here just to do a bit more damage. There's a lot of strikes and mech destroyers being laced in onto this side. And we can see a lot more units from Ipman to defend this side here against Kick, against Knight. Having to bring our air over here, get involved. Again, there's the lag kicking in. Really huge problem in these games, particularly back then. It's just that by the nature of the way that the game works in terms of multiplayer, it can only go as fast as the slowest person. So we started mixing in Jedi now. Convert some of these high value units like the assault mechs that have been laced in. Air cruiser just to sort of stall, discourage any sort of big control groups moving into the shields and try to take them down. A lot more air cruisers here for Unholy. And our air here killing a lot of stuff. Forcing Kick to make a lot more air. I'm sure we're going to try and move away, but the lag will imprison us there. We do have these supporting anti-air mobiles here from Ipman. And some units being made by Silent Raider that are not useless Jedi Starfighters, so that's something. Some Mounties. A lot of air cruisers here for Unholy. Bit of Jedi on Jedi action. Don't think the rebels can convert each other's Jedi, so it's an ethical Jedi v Jedi matchup. None of that who got first convert nonsense. Some turrets being laced in here, doing wonders for these guys, stopping the speeders from parking atop their units. And it's looking like they're starting to get the upper hand here. A lot more on the ground there than we have. It's particularly with all these units coming in from night. And Holy looks like he's just spending all day shooting at these units for free. He does have some other supporting units now with these mech destroyers pushing in on this side, doing a bit of damage. Maybe getting some spawn kills on the artillery here. But there's still a ton of units. And we're even coming in over here with the Jedi, looking to maybe break this side, because it's kind of our win condition. We're sort of just set up the stall on this side, because there's so many players there that we need these guys to win on this side for us to win the game, I think. And we'll just do our part in holding the front here. They're not super equipped to deal with Jedi here. There's not really any bounty hunters. The troopers have been getting decimated by the air cruisers. There's now troopers being thrown out here for grey. Having our shields stolen. Oh no. Starting to build up some bounty hunters here to stop the Jedi advancing through on our side. Because they would cause a bit of mayhem if they get into our base, start converting valuable things. And air getting on top of the air cruisers here. Try to convert them to stop them. There's some anti-air mobiles shooting, there's a turret shooting. And this air cruiser does live. And I think this fort's going to go down, which is great. But again, these guys have not built any shields on their side, which they could. Instead he's building farms. Shields would be huge for these artillery. Double their health pool. Starting to build some tanks. Maybe not the best in the face of the Jedi, but we do have all these bounty hunters. Maybe just try to bait them forward and get some Jedi kills. But they do heavy damage and are big deterrents to these Republic forces. People complaining about the lag. It's completely justified given the state of it. And we still have 10+1 artillery here. A travesty, a sin against nature. So the air cruisers are still alive. Unholy's not really built any more units though. Just these guys. We'd like to see artillery out of him as well. And he's got all his mech destroyers fighting the repeater troopers here while the strike mechs do nothing. And there seems to be a bit of a resurgence on this side. Renewed vigour for Rob and Hfrye as they push here. Some bounty hunters hanging out, getting sent over to this side from night. The tanks under the shields here doing some good damage. Stopping that advance. Just a quick panic look at my recording software to make sure I had the mic on. No shields here for either side, but it looks like a lot of the forces here have just sort of pittered out. Oh, there's so much from Ipman, just not on the front. Like, just rally to the front. Have it all there. Now, these assault mechs are starting to build up. Doing some heavy damage. These guys are not going to do well trading against these and under a shield. Rob making a call for making mech destroyers to deal with this. As he starts to convert these. You have to put the speeders above if they get converted just to kill them. I don't think we get purge either. So our units don't die on conversion. They do get stolen. And on the other side of things, troopers here from Raider. Could really be doing a lot more in a Motherlode game as Republic. Some Food Nova units. Rather than this cheap crap. And Kick and Knight are surging forward once again here. Has nothing to defend. You can see these units struggling to get across with a lag from the big group of mech destroyers who move a lot quicker than those two. Some Mounties being laced in here from Rob. Let's put it back to Kick Swing. He's the replay guy. In fact, so many units here for Kick now. Should really be getting the upper hand. These Mounties are just running to their death. Some A-Wings. Maybe to do a bit more damage here, extra range. Cheap unit, fast. They do quite good damage. See the range they can shoot at these rallying Mounties as well. Some shields being put down now here on this newfound land for Kick and Knight. And no shield here on this side now, and the tanks are surging forward and getting some good kills. That turret will really help. That's bad with the anti-air mobiles. Tanking shots, but they're kind of really there to defend against fighters and such. We're still 10+1. Love it. Ethical Wookiees. Some units here from Knight coming to support. Good unit arc, but just imagine if there were shields over them. I think they would do so much better. I think they'd probably win actually. A lot of shields being built here for Kick. It's going to work wonders for just holding this position. Because there is such a wider unit arc for the opposing team. Having the shields to cover it is great. The wider the unit arc, the more units can fire at one time in one volley, right? So with the shields doubling the health, they can weather that storm and just destroy parts of it, even it out. And a lot of the units being made are just not very good. Troopers into the assault mechs here. We had some grenadiers being made on top of this hill, be really good. Could be throwing Mounties into this part as well, where the troopers aren't. And you can see we pushed the tanks back here on this side. Back under my shield. Jedi coming forward, maybe to convert things. I think he's gotten a bit lost here. Really not looking good for these boys on this side now. Is that another Jedi throwing his life away? What's going on? Could be the lag. Tanks having to move back a bit, but they're getting free shots here on the shield generator. I think it's going to go down. We want to move forward to help it, but look, you get a 3-second delay. Unit walked up to it, got shot as well, so I think they just added their damage. Horrible stacking here. Good in terms of they can all fire at the same thing, but if they get shot by assault mechs, they're going to take heavy damage across every unit. Grenadiers coming in for extra damage. On this side, air cruiser again taking pot shots at this army. Should really be firing again soon. There we go. Big volley, but shields are going to tank most of that. It's a no shield generator now. Bit tougher holding it. I think they've got a bit more assault mechs than they do. But there's a lot of supporting units here for Hfrye and Rob. Air cruiser not an attack round, so it's just shooting whatever. So this mech destroyer that's standing under it is just adding his own damage to the turret there. Second air cruiser coming in. There's a shot. There's another shot. Decent damage. Pushing up with the tanks here. The lag, just nothing moving fluidly. Again, attack ground. Just attack ground right here. Air coming forward here for Kick to try and take these down. Pretty much the only deterrents on this team now. Ipman again, another massive army constructed within his own base. Not at the front line. Not reinforcing. Ton of assault mechs here. Bounty hunters to try and stop the conversions. Shield back up and online. Bit of complaints about the air cruisers here from this side. Our air coming over, try and keep these alive. Because I just want these guys to win on this side. That's all I want. All I want for Christmas. I dread to think how easy the hold might have been if Unholy made 10+2 artillery and put them under shield generators. They would have had a much easier time, I think, defending. The air cruisers are killing stuff, but let's face it, all these units can be rebuilt. They've not lost their shields or anything as of yet. They've not had the ground that they've taken pushed away. Things you don't see often, Republic and Rebel assault mechs fighting Rebel assault mechs. Strange scenes here at the north of Motherlode. Big volleys, again, no shield generator for these boys. But there is a nice arc here because there's a lot of stuff just hitting this small group. Air as well, still try to guarantee the survival. There's some 10 range Wookiee artillery. Just looking to one-up Kick here by having no +1. Why have +2 when you can have +0? Bam. So anti-airmobiles from Kick, he's just fine, I'll do it myself. I'm pretty sure he asked Knight to make them. Well, there is some from Knight. But Kick's brought his own anyway, he doesn't trust them. That'll be a big deterrence, I think, to the air cruisers. The Wookiee ones are not as good though as the Confed. You see the 8+5 to the 8+2. Then again, maybe you could have another extra one on that if you got his upgrade. Don't know if it applies, probably does. Jedi pushing things back here. I think the bounty hunters must have all died in a volley. Had to be rebuilt here from the forts. And again, just trying our best to hold this side as a lot of nonsense being thrown our way. But still undecided on this side of the map who's really winning. I would give the advantage to Kick and Knight with the amount of ground that they've gained from the gate here. All the shield generators protecting their units. Big new force of tanks. Look at that. Just hitting absolutely nothing. Great game. Look at it. How long will this go on? MVP assault mech. Dipping and diving. He knows the 5Ds of dodgeball. My only theory about this is that the Jedi can go invisible or something, but no, it doesn't even look like that's the case. Like they go invisible and they get stuck shooting at them, but happening again. What is going on there? Think about the amount of shots that have been tanked by this. This entire army should be dead. I am a victim. Maybe this is one of the bugs Hfrye's patched now. I don't know. But this horror, painful to watch. I don't want to look at it anymore. Down at the south here, Ipman has finally unleashed his army upon the world. Joining in. Maybe one too many anti-airmobiles, since he's not really facing too much air, but alas, they're there. Guaranteeing the survival of that one assault mech. Or assault mech? Air cruiser. Back up here, it looks like the bug's maybe been lifted and some things have died now. Great. Cheeky light wall. Don't understand why. I think that's similar hotkeys to the power core. I think it's NA rather than BA. And the forces of Ipman surging through here. Even some troops from Silent Raider decided to get involved again in this game. We need to park the speeders above the tanks once more. Kick saying he's 3v1. Excuse me? Is that you, Cal? I'm 3v1? A lot of Jedi here for Rob. Keep the tank count down. Stop us pushing through. And it looks like Ipman has burned out once again and is gonna begin his rebuild once more. Conspiring to get the Jedi over to my trade. Shut it down. Take me away from the sweet Nova teat I've been suckling on all game. Finally a shield generator from these boys. Big brain move. Inspired. If only this side had the same epiphany. Kick feeling emboldened, with Knight once again helping him on this side. Starting to move up. No power core yet for the shield. Baby steps. There we go. And they're going to start surging forward now. Not too much units from us on this side. I wonder why. I wonder why. In terms of this side, Kick pushing up still. Oh, he's done it. Amazing. 10 plus 2. Victory is assured against the 10 range Wookiee art. Pinging out an AC from me. Maybe a bit more than one air cruiser here. As they start to push up. And feeling that they've got this side. Move their forces forward and hope to take down the forts and get in and kill off the trade. Shut everything down. And this side is really suffering. They seem to be winning on both fronts now.
Ipman, again, he's not quite ready to join in. Doesn't feel that it's time. I would imagine all these units have been told to move, but the lag, so. The air cruiser count continues to grow in secrecy here. Soon it will be revealed to them. Soon they will have their revenge. But not yet. Kick pushing up with the artillery here. Heavy damage and at such big range as well. Repeater troopers are not the answer, as they've not been all game. Here we got Rob trying to get in with his Jedi. Air cruisers are on the move. I think he does have invisible Jedi now. It looks like we're trying to shoot at them here. Is this where they are? Try to catch them. Oh god, they're all so low. Look at the health. They're one volley. One volley from death. If this AC sees them, man. They're getting away. Looks like he's clicking C on every building. They're going to have to introduce some imperial policies here against these Jedi. You see them, just glass them. Planet as well. Take down all the mech factories. Don't care. We don't need them anymore anyway. We AC now. You see me AC. And it's probably about time to send them over here and send this army back. This is the product of 2 hours of intense suffering. 3v1 on this side. So a couple just being sent forward, don't want to send them all. Probably can't because of lag. You get much better results just clicking one unit at a time and attack ground. It'll deal with the lag better. A lot of panic pings being issued as the air cruiser count is revealed. Rob, holy crap, as this army gets decimated. We've transcended all those ground units. Really, from Hfrye? A bit of a shock to the morale for these boys. But they are winning here in the south. Ipman has looked like he's decided to sort of rejoin the fight, but not quite. Just peering out a window there at what's going on. Oh, big volleys here from the air cruisers. Starting to push forward. We're fucked, they say. I think they'll be alright though with all the lag. Because if you try to move these away and lag, they're just gonna die. Really. There's turrets shooting here. See a bit of fumbling around, air blocking the movement of these, moving them further into the blooming turret. Try to pull back with the lag. It's not a good time. Such a high value unit, you don't want to be losing it to bullshit like that. But we're keeping them, we just want to hold this side. But our boys here are getting decimated by just the artillery spam now, the 10+2 range. I mean, these units are just on stand ground dying, they're not even firing. Attacking ground here, taking down the turret. If you don't know, you can sort of shoot just out of range of the turret and hit it. Some anti-air mobiles. I'm gonna fire at them. Oh, cancelled shots. Oh, I hate this. Another cancel. Oh, another one. What the hell? But the air cruiser, with the shot gets cancelled by like movement or any other bullshit, it goes on cooldown. Oh, big volleys. And again, shooting just out of range here, kill the anti-air turrets where they can't hit us. That's why when you're defending this, you need to try and get turrets at different awkward to engage angles as an arc. Make sure that a lot are lost when they commit to kill one and push forward. It's not terrible to hold though in a game like this because you can trade for ore with all the, like, you know, the infinite Nova you've got. On the other side of things, you can see some of those Jedi from Rob still doing a bit of annoying damage. We've got bounty hunters here trying to shut them down, our own Jedi chasing them down as well. But there doesn't seem to be too much on the ground to stop Kick's advance here. Ipman sort of lost everything. There's still troopers just being made by Silent Raider here. Mostly anti-air troopers, which are completely uncalled for, since there's not really any air. And the air cruisers are still surging forward, making a statement here against the armies of Hfrye and Rob. Yep, don't think there's too much going to happen down south. I think they've been broken. Broken and dead. It's unfortunate. And with an army this immobile, here come the fighters. They're going to clean these up. We don't have too much fighters ourselves. In hindsight, I think we could have some turrets to defend them. But even if we did have fighters, they probably wouldn't get there in time with the lag anyway. And that'll be the end of it. So, unfortunate that the boys south just couldn't quite win the game for us. But it was a good hold, entertaining hold here at the top. And as always, there will be a link to the GBG Discord. If you want to come and play this game online, you can play it on voobly.com. There'll be links of where you can pick up the game if you are looking to get back into it, if you played it maybe as a kid or whatever. You can get that on GOG.com, and you can get it off of Steam as well. I mean, it's cheap as chips. It's worth picking up if you're interested in that. And if you haven't, subscribe to the channel. There'll be more videos like this, I'm sure, in the future. And like and leave a comment on anything you want to see in terms of feedback. Put that in the comment section and we'll have a look at it. As always, take care, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.